Black Bear fans, and welcome to this week's episode of From the Den. I'm Allison Willette.
I'm Emily Bontanibus.
And I'm Drea Cachudalo.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome to your all-access pass to everything UMaine Athletics. Coming to you live from the Den, let's check in with Emily to see how your women's basketball team did this past week.
The women's basketball team inched closer to closing out the regular season play with 2 games this past week. The Lady Black Bears fell to the number 1 ranked UAlbany Great Danes on Thursday, but rallied for an electric 1-point win over Binghamton on Saturday. They came back from a 12-point deficit to win 54-53 and snapped their 4-game losing streak. The men were on a road trip to New York and fell to both UAlbany and Binghamton in 2 hard-fought matchups. Both the men's and women's teams now sit at 3rd in America East.
The women's ice hockey team finished out their regular season play with a 2-game series against Holy Cross. Friday night's 4-1 victory clinched a quarterfinal bye for the Black Bears as they go on to face the Boston College Eagles in the first round of the Hockey East playoffs next weekend. Saturday was senior night and saw a 2-2 shootout draw with the Crusaders. The women finished as the 6th seed in Hockey East play.
The men made their way down to Storrs, Connecticut to face the Yukon Huskies in a 1-game Friday night matchup. The 2-3 overtime loss saw a career high of 42 saves from Albin Boya and Nolan Renwick's 8th goal of the season, bringing him to 20 points on the year.
The swim and dive team concluded their season with the America East Championships. The 4-day event saw 6th place finishes from the men's and women's teams on the final day of competition. The Black Bears put on a strong showing for the program with several school records broken on each day of competition.
The men's and women's track team competed in the America East Indoor Championships to finish out their winter season. Overall, the men's team took home a 4th place finish, with the women's team taking home 7th out of 9 schools.
The UMaine softball team traveled down to Alabama this past weekend to compete in the Mardi Gras Classic. They dominated against Texas A&M Corpus Christi with a 9-1 victory on Friday, but fell to Lipscomb and Notre Dame in their final 3 games of the 2-day tournament. The baseball team was in South Carolina to face the Citadel in a Friday through Sunday series. The team won their Friday and Saturday games, holding the Citadel to 2 points, but lost their Saturday matchup 3-10. Well, that's what we got for you today. From victories to upsets to hero stories, let's dive even further into UMaine's active sports, live from the Den. Now to Drea with more men's and women's ice hockey highlights.
The UMaine women's ice hockey team secured their spot in the Hockey East quarterfinals with a win over Holy Cross on Friday. Facing Resilience, the Black Bears answered a 1-0 deficit with 4 straight goals. The game winner came off the stick of Michaela Border, who totaled a pair of points on the day. Junior defender Danielle Brunette joined the scoring with her first career goal, coming in an impactful game for Maine. Alongside them, freshman forward Stephanie Jacob notched 2 goals to help put away the Crusaders. Goaltender Kia Lahtinen has emerged as the driving force behind many of the team's recent wins. Through her last 4 games, Lahtinen has a save percentage over 96%. Having already secured a first-round bye in the conference playoffs, the Black Bears still fought hard in an overtime loss on Saturday. The senior night marked the final regular season game for the 6 graduating players on the team. Following the contest, a ceremony honored the players and their contributions to the program. Tune in as your Black Bears visit the Boston College Eagles for the Hockey East quarterfinal round this Saturday at 4:30. This past weekend was a shock for the Black Bears. They traveled to Connecticut to face off against the University of Connecticut Huskies for a 1-game series this past Friday. The outcome? A 3-2 overtime loss to the Huskies. Now, Maine played fluid and fast, but UConn had such aggressiveness in this game. They did match it, but they just let off a barrage of shots against goaltender Albin Boya, who finished the game with an impressive 42 saves. When I look at the stat sheet, I had to read that one over again. It's the first time all year that Boya has made 40-plus saves in a game. While the game was overall disappointing, there was something that caught my eye. Previously, the Black Bears had gone 0-27 in their last 8 games when it came to capitalizing on a power play. Every goal that they scored this past Friday came from power plays. Maine went 2 of 2, and speaking of those goals, Nolan Renwick had a great one in the first period. Owen Fowler grabbed a goal for himself as well. Certainly a lot for the Black Bears to reflect on as they head up back to Orono. Come catch the last regular season doubleheader in the Alphon this Friday and Saturday as the Vermont Catamounts will come to face off against your Black Bears. Now let's go to Emily with men's and women's basketball.
The women's basketball team had a challenging week, but they walked away with valuable lessons and a thrilling victory. They kicked things off with a home game against the Albany Great Danes, despite leading by 2 points after the first quarter. Black Bears couldn't hold off the Great Danes, eventually falling 56-40. Determined to bounce back, Maine hosted Binghamton on Saturday. The Bearcats came out strong, but Maine fought hard. Trailing by 12 heading into the final quarter, the Black Bears made an incredible comeback with just 2.5 seconds left. Caroline Dotsey hit a clutch layup to give Maine a 1-point lead, securing a dramatic 54-53 win. Sarah Hodgson led the way with 12 points, while Asta Blomfeld and Caroline Borneman added 11 and 10 points respectively. Next up, Maine faces off against UNH. The game will take place at 6 p.m. in the pit. Let's show up in full force and rally behind the women's team as they look to build on the exciting victory. The Black Bears were handed 2 close losses this past weekend on their road trip at the hands of University of Albany on Thursday and Binghamton University on Saturday. Maine was up 31-28 against UAlbany at halftime after regaining the lead from a tie at 22 points with 5 minutes remaining. The Black Bears opened the half with a 10-4 lead, but the Danes tied it up again at 45 with 12 minutes left in the game. Eventually, UAlbany took the lead, but there were several occasions where Maine got within 1 point of the score. University at Albany took the win 79-68. AJ Lopez had a team high of 17 points, while Christopher Mantis finished with 13 points off the bench. Maine played at Binghamton on Saturday, where they lost 71-69. The Black Bears were able to take a 25-15 point advantage in the first half after a 3 from Mantis put them in a double-digit lead, but the Bearcats clawed back from a 38-33 lead at half. Maine retook the game with 12 minutes remaining, but Binghamton pushed a 6-point lead to keep us out of reach. Both sides went back and forth scoring baskets until the Bearcats nailed a 3-pointer in the last 20 seconds to win the game. Keon Burns had a team high of 18 points, Mantis tied his season high 17 points, while Kellen Tynes had 10 points, 8 assists, and 3 more steals to add to his school record. Maine finishes their 3-game road trip this Thursday, February 27th at the University of New Hampshire. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m.
The UMaine indoor track and field teams wrapped up their campaign as they competed at the America East Championships last weekend in Boston. The men's team finished 4th and the women's 7th out of 9 teams. Several Black Bears impressed in individual events. For the women, dual athlete Tegan Morrison secures 2nd place in the 500-meter dash, setting a new school record. Cheyenne Figueroa earned the top spot in the weighted throw. On the men's side, Andrew Card and Connor Rashad finished 2nd and 3rd respectively in the 400-meter dash, while Miles Gay won the silver medal in the 500-meter event. For the women, Mia Poirier, Nicolene Harkins, Ainsley Boswell, and Alicia Littler posted the top finish of the evening for Maine, taking 5th in the 800-yard freestyle relay. Kennedy Hart led the Black Bears on day 2, placing 5th, and Hannah Deegan placed 9th in the 50-yard freestyle. The team ended in a 6th place finish overall, earning 365 points. On the men's side, Joey Stouse took the silver medal in the 200-yard IM. Finn Devers, Cam Watlett, Joey Stouse, and Julian LaPietra teamed up to take silver in the 200-yard freestyle relay. Cam Watlett took the bronze in the 50 free, breaking another school record. They also finished 6th overall, earning 344 points. The softball team started out the Mardi Gras Classic with a convincing 9-1 victory over Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Senior Gabby Papushka had a dominant first game and was 3 for 4 with a triple, 2-run homer, and a single. Senior Kira Havadali went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and 1 walk in the Friday matchup. UMaine later faced Lipscomb and Notre Dame and finished out the Classic with 3 losses as both opponents prevented the Black Bears from getting on the board. The baseball team faced the Citadel down in Charleston, South Carolina, and brought home victories in the first 2 days of their 3-day series. Maine notched their first win of the season 4-2 that saw a no-doubt solo home run by Chris Bear to open the first inning. UMaine then went on to score 3 runs in the 5th inning, featuring a 2-run home run by Peyton Whitehead. Saturday saw a 6-2 victory as the Black Bears put on a show with 4 runs in the 6th inning. The momentum fell in the final day of competition as the Citadel took home a 10-3 victory. That's all we have for you tonight, Black Bear Nation. Thanks for spending some time with us. Riding high off their electric comeback win against Binghamton, the women's basketball team will play their final home game of the regular season this Thursday against UNH at 6 p.m. The men's ice hockey team will be back in action in home territory for a Friday-Saturday series against the UVM Catamounts at 7 p.m. Pack the Owl Fun for the boys' final 2 home games of the regular season. And once again, as always, student tickets are free for any home matchup with a valid Maine card. So show up and show out for your Black Bears as they close out regular season conference play. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at UMaine_FromTheDen for more highlights, behind-the-scenes content, and updates from the heart of Black Bear Nation. And be sure to tune in next week as we bring you more action, stories, and more from the Den.